flicker to get the night started. Downfield looking for Godwin. Into his hands. And guess which dogs are barking first? Uga, get after it.
Chubb scored a touchdown earlier on a direct snap. Now it's Michelle's turn, running all the way. Gets to the edge. Sonny Michelle will send the Dogs home to the championship game.
And Bobo throws that thing in the end zone and...
Yes! Touchdown! Touchdown in the goal line!
Cambiando estaba Phillingsley. Interceptado. Y a ver hasta dónde lo puede devolver. Es Kelly Ringo. Sigue Ringo. Corta adentro. Ringo. Touchdown. Georgia.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Robert Iron E. Singleton, a.k.a. D-Dog from The Walking Dead, or Alton from The Blind Side. Also the former DB turned running back for the University of Georgia. And you are watching Respect the Hedges on the Fan Addict Sports Network. All right, guys, go Dogs. Sick 'em.
What up, party people? Hey, we back in here for another episode of Respect the Hedges, always presented by the Tailgate Kings. All right, man. Listen, it feels good to be a Gator hater. Shout out Shelby for already being in the comments, man. You know it feels good coming off that world's largest outdoor cocktail party with the Dub. So let's go ahead and get everybody in without further ado. The man with the plan, the man that brings all the energy. We're going to need it. Kirby asked for it. We're going to need it. He wants everybody to be loud and proud in between those hedges. So let's start this NG off right with my guy, E-Rob. What's up, E-Rob?
Coach, what's happening, baby? Looking, man. Dog still undefeated, you know, the way I like it. Look, so as far as the energy goes, look, man, I'm still struggling from the weekend. So, I know it's Tuesday, but I'm still, it's going to be about Thursday before I get myself all the way back where I need to be. So, I'm going to do what I can. But look, when I got back to the city, like I went down to Jacksonville, you can kind of feel the energy. You can feel it. Like there is a buzz for this game coming up right here. So, I'm ready for it. And I'll tell you what, every kid that's here at Georgia that Kirby recruited, I'm sure he asked him this question: do you want to win championships? And if the answer was yes, this is how you do it. You play in big time games and big time atmospheres, and this is it. This is why you come to Georgia. We come to Georgia playing games like this. Now we're gonna talk a lot about that this week. I don't even want to talk about it. We're gonna talk about that all tonight. But the utter disrespect that my baseball playing days get, we're going to address that tonight because we got my boy Travis Stroud on the show. He played a little baseball with me, so I got a little backup. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going to just be football all the time tonight. Anyway.
Hey, you right. Speaking of double dogs, double sports, man, we'll bring in the next guy who was a two-sport athlete like yourself in Athens, man. We got our guy Thad, Shawty Parker. What's going on, Shawty?
Fellas, what's happening? Hey, the man had to bring in some backup, man. Hey, man, it's Tennessee week, man. I'm ready for this week. This is arguably the biggest game that we've had between the hedges of all time. So it's going to be a crunk weekend, a great environment. We already been disrespected in this college football playoff. So let's go out and just do what we do so we can go on and, show them why we should be number one. That's
right, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm like Kirby, man. I ain't even paying attention to the rankings. We just win. We do what we got to do. Everything will take care of itself, man. Hey, man, the man with the plan is one of the people to help put this thing together. My guy JV. What's going on, JV?
Hey, what's going on, brothers? How we doing this evening?
Hey, feel good. Feel good to be a Gator hater, baby.
Hey, man, listen. It definitely feels good to be a Gator hater. We had already fricasseed them and fried them up before the game even started, man. We knew what was going to happen with them. But, getting back to the business at hand, Shouters pointed it out. You guys talked about it. Number one, number 2A or 2B, whichever one you want to go with, in the building in Athens, Georgia, man. It's going to be it's going to be a crazy atmosphere. I'm going to have to give me a piece of it. But I do love the fact that we got a little bit of that disrespect on our end going on, placing us at number 3. The rankings don't matter, but anything to get it on the board, just to get these boys adrenaline pumping just a little bit more, I'm with it. Give it to us, do us dirty, talk about us nasty, and let us go out there and walk that dog walk, baby. That's all I'm looking for.
That's right, man. That's right, man. Next up the bat, man, my guy CA. What's going on, Curry Allen?
Hey, man, I'm just as crunk as the next, man. Speaking old school terms. I'm excited, man. We got it all on the table. It's right in front of us. I feel the same way. That disrespect was felt in that college football playoff. I just needed it anyway. I'm going to take it for what it is. And, we're going to have that chip on our shoulder because we will need it. We got a hungry Tennessee team and fan base trying to come into our house and mess up what we got going on. So I'm excited. I think we got the tools. I want to talk about it, and I'm anxious to hear what you guys got to say.
That's right, man. Next up, the coolest fan in the land. I got Cool Cal back on the scene. What's up, Cool Cal?
What's happening, fellas?
What's up? What's up, baby? Good to see you back.
Good to see you.
Yeah, man. Good to see you, fellas. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I know y'all said this is what the Dogs been waiting for. This is what this show been waiting for, man. We've been needing a game like this for a long time. A game with a little bit more juice to it. You know what I'm saying? I know, no disrespect to Florida. It's historically a big game.
No, all disrespect to Florida.
All the disrespect. Okay.
Okay. Hey, my bad. But this is what we've been waiting for. You know what I'm saying? A game where we really, really got a matchup. A game where we really, really got an opportunity to say, you know what I'm saying, we got the number 1 offense, we got the number 1, 2, 3 defense in the country. Let's match up and see what we got. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited for this week. I know it's going to be crazy in Athens. And I just look forward to, you know what I'm saying, just sit back and see how this matchup goes this week.
That's right, man. And this is one of the biggest matchups, like Shawty alluded to, in between the hedges ever, man. So the big matchups, man, we got to bring out the big dogs, man. The special guest for today, man, we talking about a former lineman in Athens for the UGA Bulldogs, man. I mean, Mr. All-World coming out of high school, man. He was nationally Gatorade Player of the Year. He was All-American this, All-American that. So we bringing in the big dogs for the big game, man. We talking about Travis Stroud. What's going on, T. Stroud?
Yes, sir. Bring him out. Big boy.
I think you muted, T. Stroud. Let's see what you.
This the only time.
Hey, man, you do too much media to come on and have yourself muted, big dog.
Hey, you know how we do each other. Hey, I'll be prepared for everybody else but this one right here. Hey, man, my bad.
You good. How you feeling this week, big dog?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm fighting off a little bug, but that's neither here nor there. I heard y'all's comments about this big game, man. It is what it is. It goes back to before us, during our time. It's a rival. It's East Side, versus East Side. It's good to finally have that competition back on the East Side. It's been us, for the past couple of years, man, and to get these guys back going, it speaks volume, for the most part. But the disrespect is one thing, but like Coach Saban said, it's good poison, that good rat poison, right? Because I think some of our guys started to kind of feel themselves a little bit more than they should have, right? And it's nothing like being, humble, and that humility. We'll see what each other's made of.
That's right, man. Let's give a shout out to some of the dogs in the comments. Of course, first up, as always, Shelby in the house. He's in the house always on time. We got Trevor Payne. Trevor's Payne in the building. What's going on, dog?
Trevor.
AP, you was missing the last couple of weeks. What's going on, dog? You back in here, though.
He the original Desi Banks.
Got Brandon Miller in the house. What's going on, Brandon?
Sadness.
All right. Who else we got? Oh, C-Rob. Stack dog. C. What's going on, dog?
Hey, holla at me, man.
Nothing sucks like Big Orange. You right about that, dog. All them shades of orange, and Tennessee is one of the worst of them, man. You know what I'm saying?
Sucks like an orange.
You all right. We got Erik Benford in the building. What's going on, Erik? And we got Ramon Debray. Did I pronounce that right? Let the big dog eat. That's right. The big dog gonna do a lot of eating this weekend. They're gonna show the world what's up. And we got Carlo Butler in the building. What's going on, Carlo?
Hello. There's the dude here got me moving slow right now, man.
Hey, we blame Carlo for the recovery, the long recovery of one of our co-hosts. T Small in the building. What's going on, T Small?
The dog's in the building, baby.
Hey, the dog's in the building. That's like y'all said, man. This is what the show been waiting on, man. Somebody that can come in here and try to go toe to toe with us, man. Like you say, all disrespect to Florida, that is.
I can't believe we got Travis Stroud in this thing, but I'm so upset with this dude.
Believe your eyes, man.
Hey, that personal bit.
I got a personal bone to pick with our special guest today, but I'm gonna save that for later.
Nah, don't get it out now.
I'm about to say we might need to add that out on the live.
I mean, if we gotta handle the business, we can handle it, baby. We can get it real quick.
Hey,
I don't call nobody. Don't act like that. No, you got me loud and clear. That, if anything,
Take him down the foxhole, see?
Look, just real fast. I don't call nobody, baby. But if I do, and it's your birthday, call me back. Call me back. You better than that, bro. Come on. Now, what happened to you? I'm gonna call your mama. I told you you were gonna do that to me. Huh?
Uh-oh.
But it ain't nothing but love, man. That's my roommate, man. I'm glad to have you on, Trav. You know, but at the same time, you better than that, man. Willie taught you better.
Hey, he did, and my mom. But at the end of the day, like the old folks say, charge it to my head and not my heart.
Oh, I knew you
were. And let the church say
amen. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get this thing on the road, man. We'll start out like we always do with the start bench cut. This is compliments of a little bit of JV and Cool Cal. So we got quarterbacks on deck today, and it's gonna be Cam Newton, Joe Burrow, and Tim Tebow. We talking about the best one season from each of them. I know Tim Tebow played 3 years. The other two, Cam Newton only played 1. Joe Burrow played 2, but they all had one historic season. Tebow, his second championship was all him. The first one he played with a little bit back up to Chris Leak. So to start this thing off, we're gonna let the special guest start this thing off. T Stroud, who you starting, who you benching, and who you cutting?
I'm gonna rock with Joe Burrow, because Joe Burrow, the way he did us in that SEC championship game, that national championship season, he was as mobile as Michael Vick, as Cam Newton, and he can add out. You know, he threw for yardage, he ran for yardage, he had command of the team, and the reason I choose him is because he could have easily given up, you know, transferring from Ohio State from the north side, coming down to the south side in the Bayou, and then playing against the Alabamas of the world and the Georgias of the world, and made it look easy. So I got to go with Joe Burrow.
Okay. Who you benching?
I ain't benching. Oh, well, you know, I can't bench Cam, so Tebow gone. Out of here. He will never be on my team. Bloody faced and all. He can never be on my team.
That is Cool Cal. You up the bat, dog. Who you gonna start? Who you benching and who you cutting, dog?
All right, that's a good one. I like that, man. But you know what I looked at, man. I actually went back, man. I took a look at those dudes' stats, man, because it was close. When we think of in our minds, they all had great moments. They all had great seasons. They beat a lot of teams. 2 of the guys up there, they went undefeated. Tebow, obviously, he lost the game. You know, one game, his Heisman season, but obviously still had a great year. But man, when I think about just like what Stroud just said, man, Burrow had 65 touchdowns. 60 passing, 5 rushing touchdowns that year.
Wow.
I'll say this, he had the most talent, but he did everything that you could do with that talent. You know what I'm saying? They played in a lot of big games that year. Like he just said, they drug us in that SEC championship game that year. They beat a dominant Clemson team that year. I saw them beat Texas that year on the road in a dominant fashion. Like, Burrow was the man that year. And the next guy, I got to go with Cam. I think Cam had the least amount of talent, and I think that he did the most with that talent that he did have. And I think that team that Auburn had without Cam, they might have been maybe like a 6-win team without him. You know, I've seen a lot of time where he was able to go through in the fourth quarter, win games. When I thought they didn't have a big hope to win the game. And then I thought I'd never say this, but Tim Tebow finished third, man. I got to cut Tebow, man. He's one of the all-time greats. But on this list right here for that one single season, though, man, he coming third.
There it is. CA, you up to bat, dog.
Hey, man, I'm going to go a little bit different, man. I like the one-man gang. I really enjoyed what Cam put out there. You know, that was undeniable. He put the team on his shoulders, and he carried them as far as you could. So, you know, I got Cam starting amongst all these guys because Tebow and Burrow had great talent around them. You look at Joe Burrow minus Jamar Chase in any scenario, it ain't the same. I don't care how you want to draw it up. So, even today. So, yeah, I got it in that order. I got Cam starting. I got Joe still coming off the bench, and I'm cutting Tebow every Saturday I can.
There it is.
Jamar was better than Jefferson. He was a game.
Say it again.
I said Jefferson was tight too, though.
Yeah, but he wasn't Jamar.
Or Chase.
All right, Shawty, who you got? Who you starting, who you benching, who you cutting, dope?
I'm gonna have to roll with our special guest and Cool Cal. But I'm gonna say this: he wasn't none like no Vic. Now he wasn't over like.
Thank you, somebody. Clean that up, man. Appreciate that. That might Vic move with Nas.
The reason I said he like Vic is because when you a defensive lineman, dog, and you handle your responsibility and you do everything right, and he still get the first down, 20 yard downfield, you can call it what you want to. We mad, we upset.
That sounded good, but he ain't like Vic.
Brady or something. Yeah.
That sounded good, but that man ain't like
fly
Vic.
Over here.
Right. Not between the hedges, baby. Real talk. I'm definitely going with Joe Burrow. One of the things Cal said statistically, man, he had arguably one of the greatest years. And one thing he left out, man, the man threw for almost 6,000 yards.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. So I'm definitely starting Joe Burrow, and I'm gonna put Cam on the bench. I agree with the point that CA made. You know, in terms of what I'm saying, with the talent he had to play with, he did more with less. But that wasn't Joe Burrow's fault. So I'm not gonna punish the man for having good players on the team. But I'm with you, CA. I'm with you.
I got you.
And I'm gonna cut Tebow. Unfortunately, he don't make the bus. He don't make the ride on this. He can't get in the club.
That's it. All right, JV, you sticking the status quo? You got something different? Who you start bitching and cutting, dog?
Nah, man. You know what? I'm gonna pick right up with CA. I agree with every point he made because I was gonna make him before he got to him, but unfortunately, I'm just gonna be a sidecar Joe to every brilliant point that he brought up. Again, I'm gonna go with Cam, man, as a starter, just simply because what I saw in Cam in that season was something that I don't think Joe Burrow could have pulled off on that same team. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the fact that this man was down at least 17 or so points to Alabama with a team that really should have got blown out by 40 points and came back and beat those guys at Jordan Hare. I'm looking at the fact that team he put them on his shoulders and he took them to the promised land. And didn't just get there. He ran right through the tape all the way into the tunnel and kept going with it. And you talk about adversity, man. This guy had some adversity too. I mean, he started out of Florida, went to JUCO, stayed diligent, stayed vigilant, and he put a team on his shoulders that realistically people didn't think that he was going to be able to do. So I'm going to ride with him first. Pretty much status quo, man, when we come down to the second guy. Joe Burrow, man, he just put in that work. Joe Burrow, man, just cool hand Joe, man. It looked like he might got a pack of Marlboros wrapped up in a T-shirt arm or something, man. That's just cool, dog. So I got to run with him because he delivers. And then Tebow, of course, he gets cut, just like I think everybody else has said. Not because we don't like him, but just when you comparing him to these other two guys, you just can't even cut the mustard with it. Not for me.
There it is. E-Rob, you batting cleanup, dog.
Oh man, I heard you shout it.
It is.
All right, so for me, just based on the question, I'm going with Cam Newton because he's the only guy on this list who came to the school and won it the first year he got there. He came right there, won it, went on out the door. You know what I'm saying? As a number one pick. None of them can say that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he's going to be for this particular question. And then secondly, it's going to be Joe Burrow. I think everybody's already beat that horse to death. But what he did, he just really showed out. It was unbelievable. That was a magical, unbelievable season. And then with Tebow, he obviously he had the best career out of all these guys. But he's whatever. Get your ass out of here. Next.
There it is, man. Eric Benford say he's starting Cam, benching Burrow, and of course Tebow mops the floor. I don't think anybody is starting Tebow. I think Tebow needed
first right there.
He made the cut to my star.
Everybody cut Tebow.
He ain't even benching. So, hey, man, in that spirit, man, let's just hop quickly on what happened down there in Jacksonville. Do a quick recap, man. T. Stroud, what did you see this weekend that you like, man?
I saw a lot of busted coverages and confusion. I think if we go into this game this weekend like that, it'll be a long day. But I did see some resilience up front. I think I've been saying the whole season we've been winning with base offense and defense, and I saw a lot of that. We jumped out the first half of the way we should have, and then I think we pulled back so we didn't have to put a lot on video, on film, to allow others to prepare for us. But at the end of the day, man, I think we got the job done the way we were supposed to. We need a little bit more aggressiveness. We need somebody to take charge on that defense, and our DBs got to definitely do better, especially the outside veteran DB.
Okay. E-Rob, you down back home, man. You weren't at the game, but you was back home, and was you off the libations long enough to even watch the game?
Ho, now. Not my guy. I ain't gonna let that go down like that now. Hold up now.
He the one put himself out like that, see?
He said he was recovering.
Let me get out the way.
Oh, man. Yeah, so what I saw dominance by the Dogs. And I think Travis brought up a good point. I saw some busted coverages. I saw some Florida did some motion and we were confused and just jumping around. That can't happen. We got to make sure that we know our assignments and we carry those assignments out impeccably. So we must do that. But other than that, I mean, we had a couple of turnovers in the third quarter, which kind of swung things. What I like about it is, after that, we came back, tightened the hat and just blew out Florida the way we should and finished strong. So we look like the better team, the stronger team. We lost focus for a little while, got back on that horse and did what we were supposed to do. So I feel good about it.
All right, just to wrap this thing up, JV, man, what'd you listen, I was about pissed off in the third quarter, man, and it just man, I know, right? Like, listen, in the third quarter, dog, what do you think was going on mentally in our head, dog? Like, we was just playing like we didn't know what football was.
Man, you know what? I kind of go back to what I said the previous week, the week right before the bye week, man. I really feel like we were doing Tennessee installation. Because what I saw out there on the field, I really haven't seen much of it from the DBs, man. It looked like they were doing a little guessing. And when they got that ball over our head, you had three guys who checked up on the guy who ran the out, let the guy on the wheel just go scot-free. I don't think that that's going to be a situation that you're going to see a ton of in this game coming up, because we know how precise we have to be on that defense to be able to guard against them horses that they got. But what I do want to touch on that I was pissed off about was these Stetson Bennett throws, two of which, resulted in turnovers, and one that we scored a touchdown on really should have been a turnover when my boy, of course, the best tight end in the country. Let me just go ahead and throw that disclaimer out there.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers took it to the house. That should have been an interception. That was a terrible throw. And I need to make sure I need him to get his game together for this matchup coming up, because we're gonna have to score some points and positions are gonna be at a premium. So that's something that I'm hoping that we don't see from Stetson this coming up game, because we don't want to see him Stetson up a game. We want to see him win us a game. But as far as everything else, I'm not too concerned with what happened with Florida, man. That game is over. Let's move on. Let's go ahead and shore up these pieces that we need to go ahead and shore up.
Okay, and on to that point, just talk about that UGA offense, man, this weekend, what we need to do. CA, give me one thing that you got to see this weekend, man, if we're going to come away with the dub.
Man, I hate you put me on offense, man, because I got a whole nother list of stuff I need to talk to you about, Coach, man. I'm concerned about the secondary because we just talked about how those guys were running free. And my main concern, to be honest with you, are these switch routes that Tennessee has been running all year long. I need for my corners and my safeties to be extremely ready for that, because what they're doing, they're changing position as soon as they come across the line of scrimmage. And if you're not ready for that as a defensive back, you're gonna find yourself lost and ran by. And they got a lot of speed, and they're making a lot of decisions at the line of scrimmage. So I'm anxious to see how we continue to improve on defense. The scheme that we apply this week is going to have to be something special for Tennessee. I don't know what we're going to do on offense. I feel like on offense we got the tools. That's going to be on Coach Monk. And right now we got to figure out what can we do against this offense that Josh Heupel has put together over there at UT. How can we slow down his quarterback and Hooker? Because they got a plan over there, and it's not slow. I mean, they are rapid fire. So I'm glad I got my roommate on here. I'm glad Travis Stroud is on here, because I want to know how we're going to create pressure, especially when we know Nolan Smith ain't going to be available to us. I'm just cutting to the meat, boys. I ain't got all night. I'm going to pass the buck, but that's what I'm worried about, Coach.
Yeah, the best thing, man, is for us to run the ball. That keeps the defense out the field. Number one, keep us fresh. Right, we can't have a lot of 3 and outs. As a defensive lineman, man, we got to breathe at least 5 to 6 plays. If not, that sudden change, it have us sucking in. Right, offense. You mentioned. I think get Darnell Washington involved, man. Let him run them seams. Okay. Put Bowers in the slot. Let him run run a couple wheel routes. Matter of fact, why not run 3 tights, 4 tight ends?
That's what I've been.
We are all calling for it, baby.
We said that about
hey, and then put McIntosh, and do not no huddle, but no backs. You know what I'm saying? Empty backfield. But at the end of the day, we got to have number 10, Jevaris Johnson. He got to be the Nakobe Dean of this year's defense to make sure that we're lined up the right way. We got to make sure that we play assignment-based football, right? You go back to our freshman year when we lost to Vanderbilt, right? And this is one of those similar scenarios. It's just an upgraded option, this RPO. I think when Coach Campbell had us in a 3-4, a lot of us, because we were all Americans and we wanted to do so much, we started trying to do more than what we were supposed to do, right? I think if you got quarterback, you got pitch man, you got whoever you're supposed to have, do that, first. And then try to go about making your plays. But, keep outside leverage, turn all of the stuff on the inside, keep everything in front of you. That's kind of hard, though, because based on a lot of the Tennessee formations, it limits what we can run on the backside.
Yeah. Hey, I'm scared of that. That's why I got you here.
That's right. That's a good point.
So hopefully, man, being that we got Jalen Carter, hopefully he's back. I was hoping to have him in the inside and then outside. But what I do know, let me tell you something what I do know. The unfortunate scenario that happened to Adam Anderson last year gave Trayvon Walker an opportunity. And Trayvon Walker wasn't even started. But he ended up being the number 1 overall pick. So his next man up. So this is your chance to get in, pin them eels back, put your foot in the ground, and who gonna make a play, man? I think we'll do well. I think we may do some stunts to kind of confuse Hendon. He is an old guy, just like Stetson is an old guy. So, the game has slowed down for him. He like Tom Brady. It's not fast. It's a slow game for him, so he's able to be efficient. But I think if we play assignment-based, defense, I think we'll do well.
That's right, man. So since we are on defense, man, we got a special pop-up guest today, man. We talking about somebody to join E-Rob in that secondary and that backfield, man. We got Glenn Ford, former DB at UGA. What's going on, Glenn?
Hey, how y'all doing?
What's up, G4?
Good. What's up, bro?
Talk to me.
That boy Travis, boy, knows some football, don't he?
Talk to me, Ford.
He wasn't number 1. He wasn't number 1 in the country for nothing.
Hey, that's just the analyst hat. I don't know who watching it, man. They might give me a shot. You know what I'm saying?
We all shoot for some.
So we're going
I can't see you, bro.
Yeah, we're just gonna put you right in the fire, Glenn. We're gonna talk about what you think we need to do on that back end. We already know Jalen Hyatt been running rampant on teams, man. Most times when I see he been matched up a lot with safeties, to be honest with you, and I don't think a lot of the other teams had safeties that can run with him.
Put it on tape, Ford.
So, me and Corey was kind of talking about it, a couple of days, and I've been, watching this. I studied this offense, which is a very unique offense, and it's an offense that the college football needed, because for so long a lot of people like to run whatever Alabama and Georgia running. Those are the defense that we run. So my thing is, I was telling Corey, is because Tennessee's offense is designed to break your bend. Meaning that Georgia and Alabama like to have anything that they do for their defense. They like to have more men in the box than the offense does. That's any checks they make is always run strength first. If you listen to Kirby talking, the first thing he said, they run the ball well. That's their mindset. So what this offense does when they split the guys out, when they run the two receivers on both sides, outside the hash, closer to the sideline, it makes you play 11 on 11 football. You cannot play, you're not going to have more men in the box. So my thing is looking at it is, especially when they isolated, Alabama safeties, is against this offense, if we're just trying to beat this offense, you got to put skilled guys in the game that can cover on the back end. Meaning that we might have to take 22 out, put, Chris Smith, at the money, take and put either Kamari or put Keely back there as safety for this game, and put our second string corners in the game, because the corners didn't get killed in the Alabama game. It was the safeties. So we got to put guys in the middle who can cover 11, if he's inside, or 4 if he's inside. And then also too, you gotta if we go play man to man, if 11 is on the inside in the slot, I think we should run, a high low. If he's on the outside on the line, I think we should run I-know in and out, because now we can play 11 on 11 football and match up with the guys that we're doing. But we can't leave the safeties, in an isolated formation where 11 is just gonna run right by them, because that's basically what they're gonna do. So we gotta play 11 on 11 football, which Alabama and Georgia do not want to do. But for this game, and we just trying to win this game, we got to change it up. We can't go in like Alabama never wanted to change their defense the whole game, and they got killed.
Hey, what about putting hands on them coming out the line? Is that something
only when he's on the line? When he on the line, if he's the first receiver, then we go run. I don't know. We can put hands on him, but if he's in the stack in the back, we go run high low, because we don't want to. The one thing that nobody's done yet. Nobody has made Tennessee be a great red zone team. When you play in the league and everything, they just say, man, look, if we can make them kick 5 field goals, we win the game.
Yeah.
So we want to just keep them. We want to make them a red zone team. We stop them, because once they get in the red zone, ain't no deep ball. So we ain't got to worry about the vertical ball. We want to make them kick field goals the whole damn game. If we can do that, we win. Because
Speaking of that,
they want to exploit you off the vertical ball, and that's what we got to try to take out. We want to keep everything in front of us.
And the Dogs are the number 2 red zone defense in the nation, by the way. So I know a lot of people have been talking about Tennessee's defensive line and how they can stop the run. But the Dogs, you might can move in between the 20s, but when you get inside that red zone, they're making you kick field goals like Glenn was talking about.
Yeah. So, hey, Coach, real quick.
Hey, Glenn, have you talked to Kirby about that?
No.
I saw you at fall practice on the field. Now,
you see what I'm saying? We behind the scene, baby. Look here, you got to respect the hedges now. Y'all getting exclusive.
Hey, Coach, I want people to understand the verbal gold that was just dropped on this show by old Glenn Ford, and the things that people that know football might not even be able to understand. This man just dropped a full game plan that realistically I run on Mad. I'm taking them all out. And to his point, I'm putting people in there who can cover these receivers, because guess what? I don't think they can match up with us man to man on the front end either. So that was just dope, man. I appreciate that, man. That was dope. I soaked that up.
I think it was a lot of missed tackles as well, man. I mean, Alabama and Georgia last week, we had a lot of missed tackles on blitzes. I mean, wide open guys. I mean, slid right by them. How do we, shore those scenarios up as well?
Okay. Cal. So we got to do that thing on defense. It was announced yesterday that Nolan is out for the year. So and I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't happy with what Chaz Chambliss was bringing to the table last weekend. Michael is gonna have to listen. Michael gonna have. I know he's a freshman, but he gonna have to step up. What else we gonna do, man? Try to get some pressure up there, and be stout in the run. If we're doing what Glenn talking about, well, that means we're gonna leave five in that box, man. Which means we're gonna have to stop the run that's averaging 200 yards a game. And I'm gonna tell you, I went back and watched last year's game. One of the reasons why we beat Tennessee is because we held their run game in check because they are a pretty balanced attack. So how we gonna do that with Nolan being out?
I think Rob Bill, he not bad.
Yeah, that's tough. That's gonna be a tough task, obviously. But I think the biggest thing is I think we was talking about it earlier, man. Is it's a next man up mentality. You know what I'm saying? I don't think any team goes through the season and doesn't come away unscathed without an important player that goes down. You know, and sometimes that's just gonna bite you. That's just gonna bite you in the ass sometimes. He's a senior. He came back for this moment. And it's unfortunate that he got hurt. And it may have to be that true freshman. It may have to be Michael that comes in and steps in and says, you know what, it's my time now. It's my time to take over. And it's inevitable. Nolan's been here. He's been playing 4 years. He's been in the program 4 years since day one when he's came in. You know, that's why you come in as a number one, a number two recruit. You come in for these moments. And now it's his time to step in and to be big time. So, I'm not looking to make excuses there. I'm looking for that guy to come in to be able to make plays, but I do agree with what you said, Coach. I wasn't happy with what I saw with 32 in a lot of those instances. He just seems like he just may be just a tad bit slow. Doesn't have enough twitch, you know what I'm saying, to be able to make some of those plays that we need him to make. And one more quick thing that Travis said earlier. We got
Chambliss probably wasn't ready to play. He probably was drinking right before the game. He was like, God dang it, I'm playing. Don't hold that on him.
Well, keep drinking. Let somebody else come in. But back to a point that seriously that you made earlier, we got to tackle better, man. It's plays that I see where we talk about where we have low sack numbers. And where we're not, you know what I'm saying, instead of it maybe being like a 3rd and 17, and we're just not getting that sack, we're just not getting that quarterback down, and it may be being, 3rd and 8 versus having that sack or maybe getting that strip fumble. I'm looking for us to tackle a little bit better and to make some more plays on the quarterback. I'm looking for us to make, Hendon a little bit more uncomfortable this week. So
there we go.
Okay. I want to give a quick shout out to ATLE in 2022, man. This dude watches all our episodes. Hey, when he in Germany, he watching. When he in the States, he watching. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support and go Dogs. Hey, sometimes Shouty, your offense can be your best defense. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think a team has been able to put the pressure on Tennessee by scoring with them. So what you think we can we do some of that on Saturday?
Well, one thing I'm gonna say is right here, and we talked about this in some previous episodes. Like this class of '94, man, we're gonna have to reel Stetson back in and get control of this thing, man. You know what I'm saying? They wide open tonight.
He got the whole playbook, Charlie.
Well, with that being said, I think Travis kind of alluded to it earlier. One thing that we can do to slow their offense down is keep them on the sideline. We need to put together some drives. I don't want this to be a game. Last year around this time, we was averaging about 17 throws a game. This year, we averaging 37. I don't think that's going to be the formula to beat them. We don't need to be in no shootout. We need to put together some long drives, and when their offense do get a chance to drive the ball, limit them to 3 and outs and only 3 points. And when we're on offense, we need to do what we really do best, and it showed up in the last week game. We need to hand that peel off. Run that ball, pound them with 12 personnel, be very heavy on them and lean on them. And that's one way we can stop this high-powered offense is keep them on the sideline.
I definitely agree with that. Like I say, I don't think a team has been able to do that. I think Alabama went, touchdown for touchdown, but they was never able to really get up on Tennessee and put them on. Because I feel like when you down, man, you reach for the stars and start playing outside yourself.
You can't let them dictate the tempo. You know what I mean? You can't do that.
Who was out and slated to be back this week?
Well, played on our offense. Arian Smith, he played like 1 or 2 plays last week, but he should be a full go. AD Mitchell is still limited. I don't know if he's gonna get in because he went to the game, but he wasn't even dressed on the sideline. Milton was dressed on the sideline, but didn't get in. I think we really need, like, if we had a full AD Mitchell, then I don't know if throwing it a lot would be a problem, because I feel like not a lot of people can check him anyway. But with him out, I'm like that. We need to put together. We need the Kenny McIntosh to show up after the Kenny McIntosh after the fumble, because after the fumble is like he was trying to make up every run. He was trying to make up for the fumble, and he was just getting 6 and 7 yards a carry. We're gonna ask a lot of Branson Robinson too. Is E-Rob? There we go. All right, E-Rob, you back in there. What you think about that running game, man? We're going to need that. Like Thad said, man, we're going to need that running game.
There's no doubt. This is for Georgia. For us to win this game, it's going to be the line of scrimmage on both sides. So offensively, we're going to have to dominate the line of scrimmage. We can do it. We haven't really put together a whole game yet. And I think that this is the game that we need to go out there and just dominate up front. And like I said, the best way to slow down their offense is to have them over there watching us play. And the way to do that is to run the ball. And then definitely when we get in the red zone, we're talking about red zone. We get in the red zone, we got to cash it in and score a touchdown. And like you said, if we get up on them, things change a little bit. And we just can't give up the one-hitter quitters. No one-hitter quitters. Can't do that. If we do that, if we just keep them in front, and I think that was being the point. Tackle them. Don't let them score on the 80-yard touchdown. Tackle them at the 20, at the 15. Make them score from there. Figure that out. If we can do that, we'll win this game. And one more thing. Alabama lost that game to them. Alabama had 17 penalties in that game.
And they had
Don't do that. Wow. If you don't do that, we got a really good chance to win the game fourth quarter, and then anything, we'll take.
Go ahead, Glenn.
Adding on what you're saying, you're right. We have to be, when you're watching the game, you have to be true to what you see. I think the quarterback at Alabama showed us in that game, even though they lost, that he was the best college football player in college football. Because without him, that game would have been a blowout. So we cannot ignore the pressure that Tennessee defensive line was putting on him. They was in his jaw all night. Without him being the scrambling quarterback that he was, they would have blown him out. So they do have a good defensive line.
So with that said, Glenn, Stetson in the last game didn't do too well under pressure, and sometimes I think he just need to take the sack or throw the ball away, and he hadn't been doing that as of late. What you think he's gonna have to? Yeah, I'm just saying though, like, hey.
I think we've been running a lot of base, man.
We just gotta be real careful with this game. We gotta take it very seriously, because Tennessee is a very, very good football team, bro. Like, when you look at them on paper, we cannot take those guys lightly, because they have, they're coached by Rodney Gardner is one of the better defensive line coaches in the country. Everywhere he goes, the line be really good, and they know how to put pressure on the quarterback. When he was at Auburn, they did it. When he was at Georgia, everywhere he go, he finds a way to get pressure on the quarterback, and they did an outstanding game. So Stetson has to be a manager of the game. We have to run the ball, and because we cannot expect Stetson to do the same thing Young did at Alabama.
He don't need to have 37 attempts.
No doubt.
At all. I agree.
No doubt.
I agree.
Man, I'm riding with Stetson, man. Stetson will add it out.
We all ride with him, but hey,
I'm with you, Stroud.
He need all his weapons and he ain't got them. Go ahead, Cal.
I just think he had, some challenges, man. It happens. I think now that he's the guy, he's never been the guy, right? Just think he's always had to fight his way up. And you know how it is when you push your way to the club and you get in there.
Man, we passed that. We passed that club. Man. That was last year. That's gone. It's time to play ball.
But I think it's the pressure, dog, being the guy. of being the guy, but I think he'll do well,
Been the
man.
guy
He
for
always
2 years now,
Yeah,
man.
he got to handle that. He can handle that. He got to handle that.
But one thing I want to say too, guys, is we gotta remember too, man. We got one of the top 2 or 3 offenses in the country as well. You know what I'm saying? So we can actually go out there and score a bunch of points.
Talking about that.
And we can get into shootouts if we need to. We're equipped for any type of game if need be. We would rather have a little bit lower scoring. But if we got to score 40-some points, that's what we're doing already. So
we don't need to too.
I feel like we can do that too, because if you think about it, man, like to Glenn Ford's point, man, what's his name? Bryce went out there. He did show the world that he's that guy, but he had to because he doesn't have the weapons that we have. Like I feel like we have 5, 6, 7 weapons, and I think I'm not saying I want to air it out every play, but I'm cool with running the offense how it's been. I think
we don't use them. Like he only throw the lad and dang Brock Bowers, and he got everybody out there. Spread it out, air it out.
Stroud, look here, man. Stroud, we getting 500 yards a game and 40 points.
Do that.
But
I think y'all pissed Coach off. He turned his mic up.
No, so listen. No, this is to Thad's point. Thad say we need to put some drives together, right? Like, so Georgia, like Erod said, we averaging like 530 yards a game, and we don't have but like 6 to 10 plays over 30 yards. So we are putting drives together. Like you said, Thad, I don't care how this pie getting baked, long as it's getting baked. I don't care if it's a screen pass to Brock or if it's inside zone to Katie McIntosh. We averaging like 6 to 7 yards a play. So I think if we go in trying to be something we ain't, then this game might turn out how we don't want it to turn out. I think we need on offense. I think we need to be who we are. Because listen, Tennessee they got a lot of good people up front, but that secondary. Listen, man, I could score on that secondary right now. I'm just saying, dog. The secondary ain't all that. That's all. Listen, they lead the SEC in sacks, but they also are the worst secondary. So that shows you how bad the secondary is. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Talk to him.
And one other thing I want to say real quick, too, fellas, is me personally, I like the rotation of backs that we got now too. I like 30 being in there a little bit more. I like Edwards a lot. Obviously McIntosh, and I like what I saw from Branson last week too. I kind of like him as kind of that change of pace third type of back. I like that rotation going into the game as well.
What the game of football has always been about mismatches. And I think the first time I was on the show, JV talked about the tight ends. And I think we have to, 13-man personnel. If Erik Gilbert can actually play in this game and we can do a 13-man package with those 3 tight ends, I don't know if he's playing or not.
That's but we still got some. I was about to ask you.
Man, it'll be Oscar Delp. It'll be Oscar Delp before him.
So even without Erik Gilbert.
Yeah, it'll be Oscar Delp before him.
Without him, we got to use those mismatches inside that box. With those tight ends, man. I with Brock Bowers and in zero, we can get some packages, even kind of like how we play with Wiggins and Larry them. I think
we got a pound with 12 personnel.
We got to take advantage of those mismatches with those guys, man, and control the ball, like y'all say with the offense, because their offense is very unique and it's designed to beat Rip Liz, 7 Mud, all the stuff that we run, at UGA with those fronts. We want to run a 4-2-5, but we want to run a 4-2-5 with a got chi, in the box. So we got to make sure that we control that game and use our mismatches more than they use their mismatch, and then try to win this game.
Yeah, I'm like T. Stroud. T. Stroud said we got to use zero like we've been. Like I think every week
Oregon gets. Brock didn't have that many passes.
Yeah, he's getting more and more. I think Brock is what Brock is. Something about Brock. Brock, like kind of like David Pollard, he just got something special about him. I don't know. He just touched the ball and then things happen. That's why that touchdown that JV alluded to, man, it just went his way. That's how things go for Brock. But I think, like you said, we need to keep zero involved, man. And I think if we do go 13 personnel, it'll be Oscar Delp, and he's more than capable of playing that third role. I don't know if Gilbert, he may get in, he may not, but I think it's going to be Oscar Delp first, and I'm definitely cool with that because Oscar is like a baby Brock Bowers. So,
hey, see, you was wondering why I say he was the best player in college football?
No.
No, I was just saying because I think you put Bowers, I think he can dot the I. He can line up in the slot, outside, inside. He can block like an offensive lineman. and tote the rock. Like, I mean, he's a special kid, man. And you use him in that way, and then you let the other tight ends run the seams and the dangerous routes, man. I just think we got something special that nobody has. Go ahead. I just don't know why, Kyrus Jackson and those guys aren't,
Well, see, I think to go with what you're saying, Trav, the struggle you having is why Todd Monken ain't getting him the ball. This is the game.
All of them.
But see, this is what I'm saying. When you look at last year, he saved a lot for big games. He saved a lot. We were fighting tooth and nail all season to try to figure out who are we really. Yeah. And every time we had a real big game, the offense was definitely catered to the opponent. Yeah. I expect the same. His job on everything on the line. This is what we do this for. So I anticipate seeing that versatility you asking about as far as how dynamic can we be. Stetson was careless last week against Florida. He was afforded that opportunity because it was a lesser opponent. You don't have that this week. Because we got to be sharp.
I don't think that jet sweep with, Bowers or with Ladd gonna work this week. You know what I'm saying? That's been the go-to first down play. Some dinks and dunks, but I mean, that's on film. So hopefully,
exactly, it's on film.
Set up Genesis for something else.
We got to be self-scout. Go ahead.
But Monken builds on himself too, though. Yeah, if it's on film, we got to have something else that complements that play. And to me, I'm on board with what Monken been doing because he done showed me that he got game. I just need that game to show up on Saturday.
It got to be Saturday.
To what you said. To what you said, T. Stroud, I actually like the speed sweeps. But you said something that I've been telling my boys that we always run it at the beginning of the game. Like Bowers until Florida game, Bowers' first target has always been either the reverse speed sweep, whatever you want to call it, or he lines up outside and it's a screenplay. Yep. As long as we move those plays around and don't do it like you say on film, we do it at the beginning of every game. You know what I mean?
I think that's okay out of respect. Did
y'all see that? A game plan is like chess. But to answer one of the questions I saw in the comment, and I'm gonna give my opinion on it, and I guess the guys can chime in after. The way you stack, with the way you stop a stack formation is not a problem. Stack has been around forever. The problem that you have with Tennessee stack formation is they line up outside the hash. They put their athletes in space. That's the issue that you have with that particular stack. But the stack is not anything new. That's been around forever. You can run your normal you can run your normal defenses. Your two corners or your safety just have to be communicating because they in so much field and they can switch. But it's not really just that difficult. It's just putting them outside the hash.
Yeah, that's what Glenn was talking about earlier. It makes you be more solid with your five guys in the box. You know what I'm saying, against that run. That's what they do. They try to spread you out, like Glenn say, make you play that limb on limb football. Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. We got a question from the people. Let's see. I have a question. Walter Mahone? I have a question. Do you think Georgia will win? I guess it's about that time we can get to some predictions. I'll start with mine. Yes, I do think Georgia will. Yes, I do think. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I do think Georgia will win. I think Georgia will be the first team that can play with them and slow them down just a little bit. I'm not saying we're going to stop them. I think they're going to score some points, but I think we have that offense that can put pressure on them. I think Georgia will win 42-28 in between the hedges.
What's the spread? So I can go.
Are we doing questions?
Yeah, we're doing questions. I got some.
Just started some.
Yeah, I'm gonna go around while I'm looking. That's what I'm about to say. While I'm getting the questions together, we're gonna go around and get score positions. The spread is now down to 8.5. 8.5. Yes, it was 10.5 the day after the Bama game, but it's moved down to 8.5 this week.
So, if we coming in a favorite, and this college football playoff committee, man, I think they don't know what they're doing. They got us number 3, but yet we're an 8-point underdog. It just don't line up. It just don't make sense.
We're not an underdog.
Favorite.
But it's about what this is how I see the playoff committee. It's about what they last seen. A lot of fans, they act like a lot of fans. They capture the moment. And the last time, other than Florida, who they don't really respect Florida. They don't respect Vandy, who we blew out, and Auburn, who we blew out. Slauber, sorry JV, who we blew out. What they remember is Tennessee beat Alabama. That's what they remember. They capture that moment and they say, okay, Tennessee scored.
They had help And Alabama lost that game. All they had to do was kick the field goal. They didn't.
But they're picking on emotion, though.
But that's what I'm saying.
And they had help from the refs. Though.
They watched the third quarter where Georgia gave up 17 points, and they watched Tennessee smash Kentucky, which doesn't mean anything to us, but I think that's how they think.
You said Tennessee smashed Kentucky. Ole Miss smashed Kentucky.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's how we think, but that ain't how they think. So, all right, E-Rob, let's hear your score prediction. The spread is 8.5. We are favored.
Yeah, so I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. I think the Dogs are gonna win 42-24. Pretty comfortably in the second half.
There it is. CA, what's the score prediction?
33-48 Dogs.
There it is. Thad, what you got on it, dog?
41-34.
41-34 Dogs. Cool Cal, what you got on it, man?
I guess I shouldn't go against that, huh? But,
say what you say now. Come on. You know the rule.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you.
With your chair.
The last time when we really had a big game, man, I thought we were more than impressive. I think we're coming out the same way this game, man. I think we're gonna put it on Tennessee. I'm looking something like 41-10 Dogs. I think.
Ooh, I like.
All right, I like it. I like it.
Over Cal House, watch the game.
That's right. That's right. Glenn, what you got on the score, dog?
Uh-oh.
He got it.
He on mute.
Don't do that.
He agree with me.
Okay. T. Stroud, what you got on the 8.5 point favorites, dog? In between the hedges.
I just remember it was 1998, man, in the Outback Bowl, and we just heard so much about Ron Dane and how they were gonna do us all bad and crush us. And I think we ended up winning that game 33-6, right? And it was a couple field goals, red zone, like y'all just mentioned. I think we'll do a bend but don't break. So I'm saying 33-17. I think they'll score, but it'll be some field goals. But I don't think it'll be the game that everybody wants it to be. Everybody want that big dog, man, on the top of the hill. So I think we got something for him.
There it is. JV, what you got on the dog?
I like a trial. Coach, I'm going to run with that same exact score, though. I got them 42-28. I think they're going to score some points. They just ain't going to score enough. And, their offense definitely is impressive. They have a very, very dope scenario ahead of them, though. And we are that dope.
I like it.
Ain't dead. Y'all just scared. Let's go, JV.
Hey, and ain't nobody saying we at the crib, even though it's not prime time, but we at the house.
There you go. We at the house, man.
Look. And since 2017, we've only lost one at the house, you know what I'm saying? And it means something down there. So AP say 42-35 Dogs.
42-35, okay.
Eric Benford say 42-28 Dogs.
That's on
y'all be original now. Some of y'all cheat. Y'all copying out somebody else.
11 yards total. Tell them Skrilla. 11 yards.
Shout out to OG. He say that we ain't gonna give him nothing. Don't give him country boy nothing.
I see you, DMV.
Hey, Robert Liggins say 37-27 Dogs on top. Wallace Smith got 38-24. T. Lee say 48-45. He says it's a barn burner up in there.
I don't need one of them games.
Damn, I know that's stress.
My homeboy named T. Lee. What T. Lee that is?
Hey. Okay. Hey, if y'all got any questions for the panel, get them together now. Shout it, E-Rob. Go ahead and do your thing.
So who we asking, Glenn, or we asking Stroud?
Hey, you gonna ask them both?
Glenn,
I know. Glenn, you still with us? Hey, we asking Stroud till Glenn come back.
So Stroud, I asked everybody this, all the guests that come on the show, this same question. You know, we all came out of high school, great athletes, 3-star, 4-star, you was a WWF wrestling, all that stuff when you came out of high school. So, we was all studs. But when you got to Georgia, man, what player made you say, hey, I got to get in this weight room. I got to learn this playbook. I got to do whatever I need to do to get my shit together, to get on this field. What player inspired you to get better?
Me and I, one of the persons, the players that I had a lot of competition with was Adam Meadows. He played 10, 12, years in the league, and from board drill to 101s to he and was one of the main ones. But I think I just had a chip on my shoulder to do well. I didn't need that motivation. Coming from the south side of town, man, getting an opportunity. I just took it upon myself, man, to really motivate myself. I stayed motivated. I always took being a student athlete serious. You can't have one without the other. But
shout out to the degree in the background too, brother.
Oh yeah, that's a couple. That's my wife. Hey, I just flex on TV.
Don't lose focus. Don't lose focus though.
But I got ADD. But no, seriously though, man. Of course, the Adam Meadows of the world, the Jakes, of the world, Resty. That's one of the homeboys, right? I mean, I think Resty is one of the more underrated offensive linemen, to play in the SEC right now. That's why he's such a dynamic coach. And anybody
the rest of the Beatles,
anybody that's coached by him, they know he really, really knows the game, and he had the athleticism. He just undersized, But yeah, man, I just took being a student athlete serious. Didn't want to waste that free education. I came in, I had a chip on my shoulder to really, really, go to the next level, man. When I came in, I was a top player, and then when I came in shape and I was able to start third game in, I was like, well, shoot, maybe I'm able to go to the league. So it was a progression type of scenario. It was never me just going straight. And then you go making, freshman SEC team, tearing your PCL, didn't red shirt, tear your left PCL, didn't red shirt, trying to play baseball. I never really had 4, years of health coming in. But to answer your question, man, I think it was just inside. I was self-motivated for the most part to be that first in my family to do well.
Okay, man, I appreciate your honesty, man. I know we got a lot of people on tonight. We're running long, so I'm going to go ahead and say, man, I appreciate you coming on the show once again. I appreciate your honesty, the knowledge that you drop, everything that you've done for Georgia, also what you're doing now in the community, and everything that you do to help our people out, man. You're a good brother, man.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Love y'all dudes.
Yeah, man. All right, so it's my turn. What's happening? Big little bro, what's happening, man? Look. All right, so I asked this question to everybody who comes on the show. Where you go, bro? Oh, I think I lost.
Put some quarters in that thing, man.
You sub, man. Forward.
That go forward. Shoot it forward.
All right, well, let me ask you this question, Forward. So we finally broke through. We finally won the national championship. Keely Ringo picks that ball out, scores a touchdown. Because you know how it is. I just knew Alabama was going to come back and score and win that game somehow, some way. But we finally got it done. Once he scored that touchdown, you knew we was going to win. We finally got over the mountaintop. We won the national championship. Where were you, and what was your reaction?
Sure, I was at home. I like watching games on TV so I could see all the replays and everything, man. It was a surreal moment, So, when you play, you put that uniform on and you love the school and you love everybody you play. It was just good to get that monkey off our back, from the last time we won. Well, that's what they always said about us is, good known name, but we just could never just win that one. So that was ours. We were so close, I guess, a couple of years before that when they played the national championship, but this one was ours, So now it just give us, something that we can walk around and be proud of. You get tired of being the second to everybody else. It was just surreal. It was powerful. It just meant everything. You just wear the G. Even stronger. You feel better wearing it. Everything. It was just a really, really good feeling. Then it was my classmate. You know what I mean? To have your classmate win that and been knowing Kirby since I was 14 years old, man. So, man, they was just happy for him and everything he went through and. And all that. So it was a great feeling, man. It really was. It really was.
So did you shed a tear or was you all good? Did you stay dry? What? Go on, tell. Spill the
beans. I don't shed. I don't think I'm gonna shed no. I ain't gonna shed.
Hey, what was the question,
man? Big boy, same question to you, man. We finally won that national championship. Finally got over the hump, man. We won it. Where were you, and what was your reaction?
I was there, man. I was in the stands. I was upset because it looked like it was more the same with the refs.
Bro, what you had to run and hook the modem back up?
No, man, I
put some quarters in.
He's sweating. Had to run upstairs and hook the modem back up.
Hey, no, man, I'm fighting this flu. I got the flu, man.
My bad.
I got hold on.
Oh man, this man here having technical difficulties, baby.
Hey man, hey, let me tell you something. So I you know, how you get comfortable, man. I done kicked the laptop off the table and everything. But no, man, it was surreal. More so than anything, I felt that, you know, once we got over the hump, that it didn't only benefit the current players, that it benefited you, me, the former guys as well, because it didn't validate us, but because of what we went through. You know, our years are asterisk years. I spoke on a panel the other day, and I just mentioned that the Alabamas, I mean, not the Alabamas, the Auburns, the Florida States, the Georgia Techs, they're going through what we went through back in the mid-90s, right? We didn't have coach stability. We played for 2 head coaches, 2 D coordinators, and 4 position coaches, me as D lineman. You know, that's a lot of change. It don't matter what kind of talent you have. Look at Tennessee. They finally got stability in Coach Heupel, and they number 1. So the talent has always been there, right? So it just validated us as being bridge builders, man, in regards to like playing the game. The talent has always been at Georgia. You know, we just streamlined it. You know, thank God for Coach Rick for stabilizing our program. And then for Kirby coming in, you know, finishing the drill. But Coach Rick stabilized the program, you know. So kudos to him. You know, he should be the savior of University of Georgia football. Even though he didn't get it done, but he stabilized it to where we were able to kind of take advantage of what we were or where we are now. But yeah, just you know, it was surreal, man. I didn't cry like G4 just mentioned.
I didn't cry. I didn't cry.
I'll be tripping.
Yeah, all of us should have been able to make money out of that national championship.
Oh, we are. I am. I don't know what y'all do. We need to go to Athens.
All right, go ahead, CA.
I got a slight petty bone to pick, man. I told y'all Travis made me mad earlier, and I'm glad Glenn jumped on because I said Glenn gonna come over here and talk, and all the time Glenn cuts into Travis's talk time, which is all I was really aiming for. So I appreciate you showing up for it. You didn't know I had you in here for something else. Try to need all that time by itself, man. You gonna talk anyway.
I was about to say, how y'all put Glenn in here with me, man?
I set you up.
And he's been on the show before. This is my first time on the show. But no,
it's all today though. I love both of y'all.
Yeah, we got one
Shout
question.
Shout out to Thad for calling us out. Class 94. I'm through with it.
Yeah, that's right. Michael Pitts said, do y'all think there's an advantage for UT considering they have played ranked opponents and had overcome adversity, and UGA has not faced any of the season? They have played more ranked opponents, but please tell me what adversity they faced that the Dogs have not faced.
Before y'all go in, that's my cousin, man.
I know.
I know. Hey, folks, we ain't in hedges, but you gonna get it.
Hey.
Virginia, y'all cool out, man.
Hey, shout out to Cool Cow cousin Michael Pitts. I agree that they have played more ranked team.
Get him.
But what adversity have they overcame is what I'm trying to figure out, because I mean we haven't had this is the thing that the pundits and the talking heads been. Every time we beat somebody, somebody's out for the other team. Every time we punish somebody, they didn't have this. We ain't had A.D. Mitchell in 4 games, and everybody know our wide receiver core don't work. Exactly. That's the next one I was getting to. I mean, so what we talking about here? I mean, what adversity that the Volunteers done been through?
Let me add this. Alabama's first national championship. What happened at Alabama's first national championship? Does anybody know?
Yeah, Colt McCoy got hurt on the first drive.
First drive, right? Ain't nobody bringing that up about their national championship. So I don't want to hear nothing about Meacham and William not being there for Georgia, right? We're going to put hands on them anyway. So anyway, I'll proceed. So we don't want to hear that.
So I think Tennessee's a good team, but I just think, just like people say, well, Georgia hasn't played an offense. Well, has Tennessee really played a defense? Because Alabama has 2 good defenders, but do they have a good defense? We've seen that secondary get scored on by other people other than Tennessee. So
speak on it.
That's just my take on that thing.
Well, we drunk.
I was saying this, despite with Tennessee, besides the first game they played against Pittsburgh on the road, are there other ranked opponents that they've played? But both of the top 2 have been at home. They played against Kentucky last week and Alabama. So now you're coming into a hostile environment. With now, it's gonna be loud. The office on the check, making all the check calls. It's gonna be a different type of environment. And we got a lot of players on our team who played in the ultimate game. So their blood's a little thinner. When it comes to big games, them boys at Tennessee, this their first really really when you get close to that SEC championship game, we've been there. Them nuts get a little tighter.
It's a little tighter.
You know what I mean? So they not just gonna come in the end here now. They got to go through this. This will be the biggest because this is the game. Whoever wins go to the SEC championship. That's it. So they've never been in that environment. So we gonna see who cracks first. And I bet
neither has the head coach
for the fans.
Hey,
why is Kentucky so big when we drug South Carolina and South Carolina drug Kentucky? Like
I was just getting ready to point that out, Trail. Like they played a lot of teams that were ranked.
We drugged South Carolina. Right?
Let's be real.
And then South Carolina drugged them. Yeah, they were ranked, but is it substantive? I Kent State balled out.
Kentucky quarterback wasn't in the game. He didn't play the whole game. So when South Carolina
he didn't play at all, man.
He didn't play at all.
And the guy that started, he hadn't took a snap.
Yeah,
so Michael said that Tennessee had a little adversity in the Bama game. They did when they fumbled the ball and Bama took the lead late. If I had to say, I mean, the Dogs had a little adversity. Last game, we just gave up 17 in one quarter. We had to stop the bleeding. Hey, the guys rose to the occasion, did what they had to do on a neutral field, might I add, not at home. So, good question by Michael. Shout out to Cool Cow Cousin again. That's right. Hey, I got
Jason Martin.
Hold on. I was about to say I got time today now. Pittsburgh lost to Georgia Tech, and Tennessee had all they wanted with Pittsburgh. So what we talking about here? We struggle with Missouri. They got a better defense than Pitt, and Tennessee, they took Tennessee to the wire. I mean, even Tech beat Pitt.
Is that JJ?
I don't know.
Whoever that was, don't nobody even remember those games.
The end of the day, what we count that?
Win.
W's and L, baby.
That's all we count, man. It's been a blast, fellas. Shout out to everybody in the comments, man. We've been on fire today. Shout out to our guests, man, Glenn Ford and T. Stroud, man. We appreciate y'all coming in here, chopping it up with the dogs. Big games bring out the big dogs, man. Anybody got anything they want to say before we wrap this thing up and I go cut my son half for the pit today tomorrow?
I just wanted to say, man, appreciate the guests, man. Y'all brought definitely some great insight to the show, man. And shit, man, let's have a big weekend, man. Let's go get a big victory this weekend.
Hey, man, shout out to Takeoff, man. Y'all be safe out there.
Yeah. Hold on, Thad. This dude right here, I know who Jason Martin is. Jason Martin was in the comments on my other video. 150 in tackles for loss and sacks. So Tennessee is leading the SEC in sacks, but y'all still giving up the most pass yards. I told you I got time. I'll make a little time for you now. We got the number. Y'all got the 8. I think y'all like 100 and something in pass defense, and then y'all good in rush defense. But outside of Abanikanda for Pitt and Chris Rodriguez, who y'all done played. So I mean, we're talking about inflated numbers. Let's talk about inflated numbers. We also lead the SEC in quarterback pressures. I mean, what you want to do here?
I think I'm gonna sip this tea while I go over there cooking this joker.
So, hey, man, it is what it is, man. I've been having Tennessee fans give me stats all day. I'm going to tell y'all, man, I was a math major at UGA. You can make stats say what you want them to say. You can quote FPI, but if you're going to quote FPI, you got to quote Sagarin's rating, and you got to quote total defense with the total offense. I mean, what we want to do here, man, at the end of the day, like my boy Shawty say, we just got better Jimmys and Joes. That's what it's going to boil down to. All right, I'm through on my rant, man. Like, I'll get at you in the comments later, Jason Martin.
I just want to say, Glenn, man, I don't know if you remember, man, you gave me a nugget as a freshman that I passed along to everybody who came in after me. He was like, hey, Shawty, the best advice I can give you, especially to these kids nowadays with the way technology has changed. You got the bus you can ride to class. You got these scooters you can ride. You got your car. That man told me to get a bicycle, man. That was the best advice you could have ever gave a young guy, man.
Off the real
talk, ride your bike to class, man. That was some of the best advice I could have got, and I give it to everybody I can pass that on to, man. That was just a gem. I don't know if you remember having that conversation.
Solid goal right there.
Hey, solid goal, man.
And you getting in shape while you ride.
that was the whole point.
Staying loose, man. Again, man, good show, man. Shout out to all the dogs, man. Hey, Saturday's a big one. Anybody going to the game, by the way?
No, I can't make it.
I ain't going to the game, but we gonna set up down there in Athens, man. I gotta just feel that energy. There
it is. Game day gonna be on hand. SEC Nation gonna be on hand, and the Tailgate Kings gonna be on hand.
Yeah, we working on getting some stuff so we have access to those types of games.
There it is, man. Hey, for all the guys on the panel, man, Glenn Ford, Travis Stroud, our special guest, Shawty, JV, Cool Cal, CA, and E-Rob, who had to get off. Hey, man, this Coach I, respect the hedges.
Yes,
Go dog.
Man. Hey, y'all just let me know day of, like y'all did look for how he just encroached